Welcome to our channel, Book by Book. Today we're jumping into a summary of Robin Sharma's really influential fable, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Yeah, it's a book that hit a nerve back in '97 and honestly still does. It packages some pretty deep wisdom into a story format.
And to get it, you really need to know a bit about Sharma himself, right?
Exactly. He wasn't some lifelong guru. He was actually a litigation lawyer right in the thick of that high-stress world.
So he kind of lived the life he wrote about leaving behind.
Precisely. He walked away from that career searching for something more, which gives the book real weight. It's not just theory.
Okay, so let's set the scene with the main character, Julian Mantle. He's this picture of success, right? Big lawyer, tons of money, power.
Oh, absolutely. Had
Yeah.
the fancy suits, the mansion, and yeah, the iconic red Ferrari. Everything society tells you means you've made it.
But underneath all that,
Total burnout, spiritually empty, and catches up to him a massive heart attack right in the middle of the courtroom. Almost fatal.
wow. So that's the catalyst.
That's the wake-up call. It forces him to see how hollow that life was. So he does something pretty radical.
He sells everything, the Ferrari too.
Yep. Ditches the whole material world, the status symbols, everything. And he heads off to India looking for these legendary sages of Sivana,
Seeking answers, basically.
seeking meaning, a different way to live.
So our goal here for you today is to unpack what he learned, the core idea he brings back.
And that idea is pretty countercultural, isn't it? It flips the script on success.
Right. It argues that real success, the kind that lasts, isn't about your bank account or job title. It's internal.
It's about your mind, your body, your spirit, finding that inner balance and fulfillment.
Especially relevant, I think, for anyone feeling caught in that modern, well, rat race, feeling burned out or just disconnected.
Yeah, it offers tools, a kind of roadmap back to purpose.
Okay, let's dive into the first big lesson Julian learns from the Sages.
Yeah.
This one's foundational. Master your mind. They use this great analogy.
The mind is a garden. Yeah, it's powerful because it's so visual.
Explain that a bit. How does it work?
Well, think about it. A garden needs tending. If you plant good seeds, positive thoughts, gratitude, focus, and you water them, it thrives. It becomes beautiful, productive.
But if you neglect it,
Exactly. If you let the weeds take over fear, worry, negativity, doubt, they just choke everything else out. They strangle your potential.
and in today's world with constant notifications, emails, social media, that mental clutter feels like the biggest weed, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's probably the #1 obstacle to peace and even just clear thinking. The sages saw this long before smartphones.
So how do you tend this garden? What are the tools? The watering can and the pruning shears, so to speak.
They emphasize daily practices, things like meditation, saying positive affirmations, and visualization. These aren't just nice ideas, they're essential maintenance.
Let's take visualization. How does that work practically, like before a big presentation?
Right. It's not just wishful thinking. It's actively rehearsing success in your mind. You vividly imagine yourself handling it well, staying calm, answering tough questions.
So you're kind of pre-programming your brain.
In a way, yeah. You're building neural pathways for confidence and calm. It actually reduces anxiety and improves how you perform when the real event happens. It's about taking control, not just letting random thoughts run wild.
Okay, that makes sense. Managing the mind, which leads nicely into the second lesson, follow your purpose. They call it the lighthouse of life.
Yeah, and the connection is crucial. Mastering your mind clears the space, but purpose gives you direction. Without it, all that mental control doesn't really lead anywhere meaningful.
Like having a powerful ship but no map or destination.
Exactly like that. Purpose is the lighthouse guiding you through the fog and storms. It's the why behind your efforts.
And why is that so critical, especially for people driven by career success? We see so many hit their goals, the promotion, the salary, and still feel empty.
Because often the why was just external. Like, I need to make more money or I need that
Yeah.
title. Once you get it, the drive disappears or it feels hollow.
So the purpose needs to be deeper.
Definitely. Compare working crazy hours just for a bonus versus working those same hours because you believe you're, say, building something innovative or supporting your family's future or contributing to a cause you care about.
The same effort feels different.
Totally different. That bigger purpose sustains you through the hard times, keeps you steady, like that lighthouse in a storm. It provides meaning.
Okay, purpose gives direction. But then comes the hard part, right? How do you actually stay on course? Lesson 3, cultivate discipline. This is all about the power of rituals.
This is where the rubber meets the road. Julian couldn't just want to change. He had to build new habits, new structures into his day.
And the sages were big on this, weren't they? Small, consistent actions.
Very big. Transformation doesn't happen overnight, usually. It's not about one huge burst of willpower. It's about the little things you do every single day.
Like what specifically?
They talk about things we now recognize as peak performance habits. Getting up early, moving your body, exercise, consistent meditation, and journaling, reflecting on your day and thoughts.
Which really flies in the face of our modern culture wanting instant results, quick fixes.
Right, we want the hack, the shortcut. But this wisdom says, no, real growth is slow, steady, consistent, like a drop of water.
Go on.
One drop doesn't think to do much. But over years, that constant dripping can carve a groove into solid rock. That's discipline.
So it's like training for a marathon. You don't just run 26 miles one day.
Exactly. You build up with shorter runs day after day, week after week. Those small, maybe even boring daily acts build incredible strength and resilience over time.
Okay, so discipline builds the structure. Now, lesson 4 seems almost counterintuitive, especially coming from Julian, the guy who loved luxury. It's live with simplicity. Less is more.
Yeah, it's a fascinating shift for him, isn't it? Finding joy in the sage's simple lifestyle after craving all that material wealth.
But why? Why the focus on less? We're taught accumulation equals happiness.
That's the core question the book pushes us to ask. Why do we tie happiness to having more stuff? The sages argue that simplicity isn't about deprivation, it's about clarity.
How so?
Well, all that stuff, all those distractions, they clutter not just our homes, but our minds. Simplicity cuts through the noise. It frees up mental energy, focus, and time for what actually matters.
Like purpose, relationships.
Exactly. The things that truly nourish us. Think about digital minimalism today.
Okay, like cutting down on apps or screen time.
Right. Doing that can genuinely bring more peace than buying the latest gadget.
Yeah.
It's like a cluttered closet. If it's overflowing, you can't find the clothes you actually love and need. A cluttered life makes it hard to find inner peace.
So it's about intentional subtraction, not just forced austerity.
Precisely. Selling the Ferrari might be symbolic for most of us. It means letting go of whatever clutters our life unnecessarily.
This idea of clearing clutter, both external and internal, connects really well to the 5th lesson. Embrace the present moment, the eternal now.
Mindfulness, it's absolutely key.
Yeah.
So much of our anxiety comes from replaying the past or worrying endlessly about the future.
We're mentally anywhere but here.
Right. And the sages point out something simple but profound. Joy, contentment, peace. They can only be experienced right now in this present moment. You can't experience joy yesterday or tomorrow.
You miss life if you're always elsewhere mentally.
Completely. The book uses that example of eating. Are you mindfully savoring the food, the experience? Or are you scrolling on your phone, barely registering what you ate?
Guilty as charged sometimes. You finish and barely remember it.
And you feel unsatisfied. But when you're truly present, even simple things become richer. It's like life is this flowing river.
Okay.
If you're always looking back at the bank you left or straining to see what's around the next bend, you miss the beauty of the water flowing around you right now. Being present brings an immediate sense of calm.
And being present applies not just to tasks, but to people, too. Lesson 6 is nourish relationships, the circle of connection. Julian, the workaholic, had to relearn this.
Yeah, his ambition had isolated him. But the sages emphasize that connection is fundamental to human happiness. We're social creatures.
It's not just a nice to have.
Not at all. It's essential. Things like kindness, empathy, making time for loved ones, to actively nurture our well-being. There's tons of modern science backing this up now, too.
Right. Strong social ties linked to better health, longer life.
Higher happiness levels, absolutely.
Yeah.
So relationships need tending, just like that mental garden we talked about.
You can't just neglect them and expect them to thrive.
No, they need attention, care, communication, watering. Neglect leads to them withering, which just deepens feelings of loneliness, the very thing Julian was running from.
Okay, so we have mind mastery, purpose, discipline, simplicity, presence, relationships. How does it all come together? That brings us to lesson 7, the big synthesis. Balance ambition with inner peace.
This is maybe the most challenging one for driven people. The idea that you don't have to choose between success and spirituality, or ambition and peace.
Because the assumption is often that finding peace means, like, giving up your goals, retreating from the world.
Yeah, exactly. Or that being ambitious means you have to be stressed and sacrifice your well-being. Sharma argues that true, sustainable success means achieving your goals while maintaining inner joy and strong relationships, not sacrificing one for the other.
How does someone like Julian, trained to be adversarial and driven, manage that balance? It seems like a contradiction.
It requires conscious integration. The book uses the analogy of a bird needing both wings to fly.
Ambition and peace are the two wings.
That's the idea. Ambition alone, without grounding, leads to burnout. Peace alone, without direction, can lead to stagnation. You need both for a fulfilling flight through life. A leader who is both driven and mindful is often more effective and resilient in the long run.
And to make all this easier to remember, the sages use metaphors, right? We mentioned the garden and the lighthouse.
Yeah, and there's the sumo wrestler representing discipline, the pink wire cable for habits, the stopwatch for time mastery, the roses for kindness, the path of diamonds for living in the now. They're like mental shortcuts.
Little hooks to hang the wisdom on.
Exactly. And they all fit into a practical system, specific rituals for self-mastery. We should probably touch on those main ones.
Good idea. Let's quickly cover the core rituals introduced. First, the ritual of solitude. What does that mean practically? Not moving to a cave.
No. It means scheduling quiet time for yourself every day, even just 10-15 minutes. It could be meditation, quiet reflection, maybe just a silent walk. The point is to disconnect from the noise and reconnect with yourself.
Okay, deliberate quiet time. Then there's the ritual of abundant knowledge.
This is about lifelong learning, but quality over quantity. Not just endless scrolling, but reading things that inspire you, learning new skills, feeding your mind purposefully, keeping that curiosity alive.
Got it. And the last big one, often the toughest, the ritual of early awakening. Is this just about being a morning person?
It's less about the specific time, like 5 a.m., and more about how you start your day. The idea is to wake up early enough to dedicate the first hour or so to yourself, to your rituals, like meditation, exercise, planning, before the world's demands rush in.
Start proactive, not reactive.
Precisely. You tend your garden before the weeds get a chance. It sets a tone of discipline and presence for the whole day.
It's a really holistic approach, covering all the bases. Okay, let's boil it down for everyone listening. What's the quick, actionable checklist they can take away from the monk who sold his Ferrari?
All right, action time. First, mental focus. Try 10-15 minutes of meditation or quiet reflection each morning. Seriously, start there.
Okay. Second, purpose. Write down your life's purpose in one sentence. Look at it daily.
Third, discipline. Start small rituals. Maybe 20 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of journaling. List 3 things you're grateful for. Make it consistent.
Fourth, simplicity. Declutter. One drawer, one corner of your desk. Unsubscribe from emails you don't read, physical and digital.
Fifth, presence. Pick one activity today, eating lunch, talking to someone, and focus only on that. No multitasking.
Sixth, digital boundaries. This is huge. Disconnect from all screens at least 60 minutes before bed. Let your brain wind down.
And seventh, relationships. Make a conscious effort today to connect meaningfully with someone you care about. A call, a real conversation.
That's a solid starting list.
It really is.
Yeah.
This book is essentially a manual challenging us to redesign our lives around what truly matters: purpose, joy, balance. It questions what we chase after.
Which leads to that final provocative thought for you listening. Are you ready to identify and metaphorically sell your own Ferrari?
Yeah, whatever that represents for you. Maybe it's a draining job, a bad habit, a limiting belief about success, or just the endless pursuit of more.
Are you ready to trade that for a life of what the book calls true abundance, inner abundance?
That's the core challenge. It's a big decision, but the potential reward is immense.
Definitely something to reflect on. We hope this summary has given you some valuable insights and maybe inspiration to make a change. If you found these lessons helpful, please do subscribe to the Book by Book channel. We'll keep bringing you more helpful book summaries like this one.
And please share this summary with anyone you think might benefit. Likes and shares really help us out and motivate us to keep going.
Thanks for tuning in to Book